It looked better for you.
Worked out for someone else, too.
Yeah, for sure.
Back here with Mark Schlereth, and we are going viral. The age-old question of how sumo wrestlers sign their autograph can now be put to rest.
Oh, that's an efficient method.
Takayushi showcasing the unique rhythmic motion.
He still can't shave his back, though, can he?
Oh, come on.
I just wonder if you have a similar rhythmic motion.
Yes.
You sumo wrestlers.
Yes.
That y'all
could
gonna
be
make
you.
Sting take his shirt off.
You guys know I can't bend my knees that far.
That far away.
Stop it.
Looks good, though.
This guy's got some hairy knees, too.
Yeah.
The whole thing. It looks like just got a wax chest. Who is that fella?
Yeah, that's nice.
Oh, that is Mark Schlereth. Okay.
Time for stories to start your morning. Brought to you by the unexpected energy of ExxonMobil. The most highly questioned shoulder injury debate might be over. A lot of people wondering whether Markelle Fultz's shooting woes were physical or mental. Turns out he has nerve issues in his neck and shoulder. The second-year point guard will now be out 3 to 6 weeks rehabbing. Nick, what'd you make of this?
I think it's ridiculous that he had to go to 10 outside experts to get this diagnosed. This was the exact thing, thoracic outlet syndrome. People were just, random folks on Twitter were speculating about the last 6 weeks that this is what his issue was. I don't know how much the issue is mental in addition to the physical injury, but Philly's medical staff has had this player in-house for a year and a half, and that he has to go outside to get a legit diagnosis, that ain't great.
I think it's legitimate. It's definitely like the kid just woke up and said, you know, how can I sabotage my career? It's more going on to him than mentally. Like, I believe he's seriously got a problem, and he's trying to get it right. He is not fit to play in the NBA right. Something's wrong with him, and it's not his head.
All right, moving on to the Cowboys now. Young linebackers Jalen Smith and Leighton Vander Esch have been outstanding for the Cowboys this season, but according to Jerry Jones, Sean Lee will be the starter whenever he gets healthy and can play again. Should the Cowboys stick with the young guys or go back to Lee, CC?
This is a tough one here. This is one of the things, if you're a good player in the league, how do they transition that younger player to taking your spot? Because ultimately, Stink, we know you got to go. There's going to be a better player going to take your spot. I believe they're making a mistake by doing this because I believe that Vander Esch poses a different set of problems for Dallas. Dallas is easier to run on with Sean Lee because he's undersized. Vander Esch has that power, speed, and also look at the energy him and Jalen Smith have playing together. They're a special combination.
Right. It's not like Vander Esch isn't going to see the field again. You may start Sean Lee, but I'm guaranteeing you Vander Esch is going to spend a lot of time on the football field. It gives you a nice rotation there. But I'm with you, man. He has earned the right to be there. And I think they'll probably play him a lot more than they play Sean Lee, even if they start Sean Lee.
All right, finally, speculation over who will replace Mike McCarthy in Green Bay. The current betting favorite, former Broncos head coach and Pat's current offensive coordinator, Josh McDaniels. Stink, would this be a good fit for Green Bay, for Aaron Rodgers?
Well, I think you have to understand, when you're talking Josh McDaniels, you're talking about a guy that puts people in position to win. Like, he understands. Now, when you coach for the Patriots, you start on the opposite side of the ball. So he started on the defensive side of the ball. And then he goes and transitions to the offensive side of the ball. And they do that with the Patriots so that you understand when you're game planning what the rules of coverage are, where guys have to be, how to leverage guys. So they do this with everybody. I mean, like Matt Patricia, defensive coordinator forever. He started on the offensive side of the ball. He was an offensive line coach. And so that's just something that they do within their organization. So his ability to find guys and to get guys open and to exploit defenses. Talking to guys that he coached in Denver when he was the head coach, they will tell you absolutely brilliant when it comes. Like, he would tell you, this is what's going to happen, this is what they're going to do, this is how we're going to attack it. And it would come out exactly like he said. So he is great with that stuff. He is going to have to learn how to be his own man. And I think that's the biggest thing coming from New England is
be your own man. Like, what are you?
Like preaching, this is the Patriot way. This is the way we did it with the Patriots. Here's how we did. This is Bill Belichick. Like, you walk into the organization and guys automatically roll their eyes.
Because that was
they want authenticity,
Denver, right?
Yeah, they want authenticity. They don't want you to be Bill Belichick Jr.
And we know
and that's hard. And that's hard to do.
Right. I mean, maybe Nick Saban. is as close to two people as personality, but Bill Belichick and his overall personality, it can't be duplicated.
Right, and you already come in, if you have coached within that organization, you already come in with this stigma of, well, he failed in Denver, and, you know, look at the other coaches, look at the Charlie Weisses, and look at
with how he was originally going to leave.
Going to go to Indianapolis, and then he decided not to do that. So you already come in from a player's perspective, they're already scrutinizing you. They're looking at you going, okay, who's this guy going to be? And I think, one, he has learned from his time in Denver. Like, he has definitely learned from that. There's no question in my mind, because you couldn't go through what he's gone through and not learn from it. But it's still, as a player, you're still going to scrutinize that just because of where he comes from.
And from a football standpoint, I don't have questions. I think he's the best of the bunch of the New England offensive coordinators. I think he's better than Bill O'Brien. I think he's clearly better as a coach than Charlie Weis, like as a head coach potentially, I should say. My worry with Josh McDaniels is the same one I had before he backed out of Indy. It's a who is this guy question. Like, he skirted the rules in Denver. He had problems with relationships in Denver, and then he gets brought back into the fold in New England, gets a second chance in Indy, and screws them. Now, they ended up, I'm sure they're very happy with Frank Reich. I bet if they had to do it all over again, they maybe would have made Frank Reich their first choice instead of their third choice. But 1 year removed from him agreeing to take a job and then backing out after whatever was said in that Belichick-Kraft meeting, to me, there's a level of toxicity around Josh McDaniels, the guy, rather than the coach, that would make me very hesitant to make him my football coach 1 year removed from what happened in it.
I think Josh's going to be a good coach. I think he's a good football coach right now. I don't think he's going to be a good fit for the Packers, because I don't think the Packers are going to have a chance. All right? Robert Kraft, when he selected Belichick, what was it? What did he trade for him? The value. What did he trade for him?
Traded a first-round pick back to the Jets for Bill Belichick.
Right. Now, that's the owner, still owner of New England. Last year, when Josh was getting ready to go to Indianapolis, who did he talk to?
Josh.
Yeah, he talked to the owner talked to Josh before he left, right?
Yes.
That was with him and Belichick and Kraft. They had a meeting. So he's already selected without a first-round pick. He's already selected his next coach. Just like he traded the Jets. Hey, man, you guys got my guy. How much it's going to take to get him? It's going to take this? Okay, that's what. And this is the way Kraft does business. Last year, he thought his next coach was going out the door. He sweetened the kitty to let him know, this is your spot. This is your team. Now, who do y'all think he wants to work for? Y'all think Josh is getting ready to leave the Kraft and go to Green Bay and deal with the hierarchy there, or he's going to stay with the Kraft family? So I don't even think it's on the board for him. I'm just going to tell you guys a name. Watch out for Jim Harbaugh, because Jim Harbaugh potentially is trying to get his way out of Michigan. All right, I got good sources that are telling me not only Green Bay, but also watch out for the Cleveland Browns. He likes the quarterback situations there, and I believe that there is front office people in Green Bay who are enamored with Jim Harbaugh and potentially trying to get him to come to Green Bay. So I don't even think Josh is going to be made available for the Packers, and I think other people have their eyes on the Packers job.
Well, these are big names that are being swirled around. How much does coaching Aaron Rodgers factor into a Harbaugh or a McDaniels or any of it?
It's the biggest factor. Right? Like the Coach Mangini talks about this all the time, that when you are choosing jobs, if you are lucky enough, fortunate enough, I should say, to have your choice of jobs, you look at, is there a quarterback in place? Is there a good quarterback in place? Is there a plan at quarterback in place? And no matter what personality issues or questions people have about Aaron Rodgers, nobody questions that he's one of the two best quarterbacks in all of football. And even though he's 35 years old, whoever takes that job is going to have Aaron Rodgers for the first half decade they're coaching there. So the reason that a guy like Jim Harbaugh would be just focusing on Green Bay or Cleveland is because of Aaron Rodgers and Baker Mayfield.
The thing I would be careful about, because the number one thing for me is not quarterback, it's organization. Who am I partnering with? Who am I trying to put this team together with? Because right now, you can say, John Gruden, he got fooled on that one. Oh, man, get you a quarterback. Better be careful, because you might not have the guy you think. And also from an organizational standpoint, how am I going to be able to win games? Because quarterback will keep you in the game, but it's not going to win you all the games. So the organizational support becomes a very, very big deal. These guys, these coaches, they love to have a quarterback, but there's so many good to decent quarterbacks that I don't think there's the huge separation. And I think that Aaron Rodgers might not embrace being coached by the guy who coached Tom Brady because he's always getting that comparison all the time.
All right, speaking of Baker Mayfield, let's move on and talk about him. The first overall pick.